All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the OFR Round 6 here at Baku. 6 races already done with the season. I can't believe how time has been flying, and with only 3 races left, the championships are still wide open. After the results at Shanghai, Lefkier managed to pick up a third win this season after getting punted to the back after a lap 1 incident with Monkey Man Matt, but a late safety car and a great drive allowed him to catch up to the rest of the field, meaning he picked up another win and increased his gap to our Turkish White in second place and Dylan in third place. But what is really the most interesting to me is the Constructors' Championship with both Mercedes and Aston Martin still in it. Tommy finally back for Aston Martin as only 4 races this season. Sorry, this is the 4th race this season where there have been 2 Aston Martin drivers. At Jeddah, we saw Ace fill in to be Lefkier's teammate. Otherwise, Tommy was here for 2 other races. This is his 3rd this season. So could we see Aston Martin increase their advantage as Lefkier has been carrying pretty much all of all of Aston Martin's points recently? Or will we see Mercedes try and eat into the gap, that 8-point gap that they have to first place, and potentially even take first place for the first time this season? Anyway, let's go on board with some of our new drivers this week. Tech Solaris, I have not seen him before in the Williams, coming through Sector 1 here. Many tight corners at this circuit, hard to navigate, especially without ABS and traction control and the line. So it is a tough test for these drivers, going a bit wide through that turn there as we head into Sector 2. I believe he is the first one out on a flyer. Lemons is also a new driver to my knowledge, and so is Pickle, fitting into the Mercedes seat. So actually, neither of the 2 Mercedes drivers that are full-time are in the seat today. We have Ace, who was Lefkier's teammate at Jeddah, and we have Pickle, who is a new driver this week. So we'll see how they can cope with Dylan and NL Carr missing from action as Tech Solaris comes through the last real corner, a 121.2. I'm not too sure how good that is. It's been a minute, and hold up, what has happened? So Tim Blaish and Matt Missile are out of the session, and look at this. Tech Solaris has just been impeded by the standing Alpine on the straight. So I'm not sure if that was on purpose or was it the same time, if it was a crash. But yeah, so Tech Solaris with a 146 flat, but momentarily provisional pole, and Lefkier takes it right back from him with a 141.3. Now that's a pretty good lap time. I can attest to that, a 45.3. And around such a technical circuit, look at this. Cars filing into the 45s, even maybe some will be in the low 44s. I think Robot will be in the 43s or 44s. And then we see Lefkier absolutely smashing those times out the window. Very technical circuit, very driver heavy, kind of like Singapore, with its tight street circuit nature, many 90-degree turns. And Lefkier is just showing how truly above the field he is for everyone else. NL Carr 42.5. So NL Carr is in a Ferrari, which is confusing to me. Why is NL Carr in a Ferrari? He's done a 42.5, so he's done the only one within 2 seconds even of Lefkier. The Robot did a 44.2, as I stipulated, and Show Crime, his teammate, with a 48.6, takes up the bottom now. And let's look at it. Ace is actually on a pretty good lap right now. Ace is going to cross the line. It'll be in the 42s. It'll be a 42.1. So he'll stick it on the front row next to his former teammate. But I will have to clarify what is up with NL Carr and the Ferrari, because that could be detrimental to the championship fight. Let's go on board with the other Mercedes, Pickle, with a 120.3 in the final second sector. That's not a great time. That should probably slot him into P5 or somewhere around there, maybe near Tommy's time or Lemon's time. Should be faster than Tech Solaris and Show Crime, though, as Pickle, long straight here, down to the finish line. DRS open, battery completely depleted. It's going to be a 44-45 flat for Pickle, so he just beats out Tommy's time. But yeah, there's a huge discrepancy between the field. Usually we see the cars between 1 or 2 seconds of each other, but now even you can argue that Show Crime's time is competitive. I mean, I don't think it was a great lap from him. As you can see, it's 6 seconds, but there's 4.7 seconds from the front end to the back end of the field, and I don't think that's the best lap that Left Gear can do either. Now here comes Show Crime. He's looking to improve on his time. At the moment, he would set a time that would put him P3, but if he has a bit of time in the final sector, he can certainly put himself onto the front row. The Red Bull of Show Crime crosses the line. It'll be P4 only. He misses out. And he just about slots ahead of his teammate, Dr. Robot. So it's a Red Bull 4-5 at the moment. A couple cars on a lap right now. I think that's Slockster in the McLaren, as well as Monkey Man Matt and Arthur Costrebo. Arthur Costrebo blessing us with an early exit from the pits, though not... I think a different strategy, maybe an unfamiliar track for him. He's going to cross line. This will be in the 43s, a 43.3, respectable time from the Alfa Romeo. Puts in P6, P5. Now Monkey Man Matt is actually, looks like he's on a pretty good lap time. He's close to the line. Will this be in the 41s as well? It will be in the 41.8s. So he'll put himself on the front row next to Left Gear, beating out Ace by 0.3 of a second. I think Sloxer as well, about to finish his time. He'll be either P11 or... Oh, he's backed off his lap. Similar sector to Tech Solaris, though. And for the time being, those are the 11 cars that have set a lap currently. Other than that, no one is... the other 6 cars are yet to set a lap, and 2 of which are DNF. Shadow Ben on an outlap. So we have a couple cars on an outlap right now. And I think we also have a couple cars on back-to-back push laps, like Arthur or well, we saw Show Crime do it earlier. I don't think he'd be going for a second flyer. I don't suppose. Yeah, I think he's coming back into the pits. I think NL Carr might be going for another flyer after getting a bit of ERS back. He's got a full tank right now. Monkey Man Matt could potentially be on another flyer, but no, he isn't. He is on a cool lap, I think. And interesting to see how these drivers sort of manage their tires. I think interesting to see them save multiple sets of softs for the race and would rather go on 2 push laps on the same set of softs, especially around a long track like this where tire wear is of the essence. It's interesting to see how they go about that. Left Gear with a bit of a slide out of turn 2, and this very boxy shaped rectangular sector 1, one of the quickest sectors around this circuit. Let's go on board with Left Gear as he comes through turn 4 and the 4th straight 90-degree turn on this track. Now into turn 5. This is one that you have to nail, the chicane 5 and 6, and looks like he's done it, but he's lost the car a little bit on the exit, and he's going to keep it going nice and straight into the castle section here. If you do use line, you have to brake much earlier than it tells you to. It's really hard to get the car stopped, especially in turn 7 and then turn 8 as well. Through the castle, navigates it brilliantly. Of course, Charles Leclerc, famous for his accident through that corner, now through 10, I believe. And then this long, you can almost call it straight, but on the mini-map kind of looks like an octagon as you come through this downhill corner where Sebastian Vettel once went off, I think, if I remember correctly. Now down to the Sector 2 timing line. Is he improving on his lap? He is. No, he isn't. He's down by quite a large margin, actually. He's down by 2 seconds on a lap that I thought he was doing pretty decently. But I think he did back off at the end there. I think he stopped using ERS. Monkey Man Matt down 0.3 in Sector 1, but a lot of places to find time there. Swooping through that turn now into this downhill section. Is he up on his time through Sector 2? Look at that. He has found 0.5, half a second in the middle sector, and now he's up just a bit over 0.2. And if he can find a bit more in his lap, he could potentially steal provisional pole from Left Gear. And keep in mind that he is on these old tires now. This is his 3rd lap on these tires. and they're bound to be at around 10, maybe even 15%. But he's going to cross the line. It's going to be an improvement of a 41.58. So taking time out of Lefkier's pole position time, but not enough to dethrone him. Let's see, Texelaris beats his time by 2.4 seconds. On the mediums, he's come out on the medium, so he's looking to save tires for the race. And Shadow Ben is into the wall. He's into the runoff area at turn 2, and he's struggling to turn his Haas around after putting a 50.5 on the lap. Presumably just locks up into turn 2. And, has he impeded that AlphaTauri? That is Resh Cohn. Was Resh Cohn on I don't think he was on a flyer, but if he was, that could have been bad for Shadow Ben. Which, I mean, he could have just waited a little bit more time to back out. And now Tommy has DNF'd, so I'm not sure if that was a mechanical retirement within the pits or if it was a crash. Now, the two McLarens yet to set a time. Interesting, we usually see at least one McLaren come out and do an early lap. So I've just been notified that NL Car is going to be scoring points for Mercedes. He was just late to join the lobby, and I will have to ask who his then teammate will be, but I assume it's going to be the better, whoever finishes better of Ace and Pickle. Now, Sloxer, I don't think we've ever seen him drive before, coming through the castle section here. And this is your chance at such a tight-knit circuit like this is your chance to really prove to the viewers and to, I guess, well, there's no team principals in this league, but prove to maybe other drivers that would want you as your teammate how good you are. Not a bad Sector 2. It's going to be the 18s or 19s for Sloxer, 19.2. And if he keeps that up, that should find him near the higher mid-table, maybe a low 42 or high 43. In a very high-speed portion of the track here. This would be the longest straight on the Formula 1 calendar, but it isn't classified as a straight until after that last little bend in the road, and I messed up. Not a low 43, rather a high 44 for Sloxter, and he's going to let that Aston Martin by. If I knew any better, I would say that's Lefkier, the current provisional pole sitter. He has been on pole for the entire session, except for that first second where when Texelaris was on pole. But I think maybe Lefkier actually might have gotten a bit of tow from the Williams Texelaris, now that I remember, because they were so close together. I think he definitely got a bit of tow down the back straight. Now Lefkier coming through Sector 1. Is he improving? Is he finding time? He is. He's just set a purple Sector 1. He's improving. He's 1/10 up on his original time, and again sliding through that corner, this time on the entry rather than the exit. Doing his best not to go deep that time. Very hard turn to know the braking point to. I'm expecting maybe 1 or 2 crashes during the race there, and navigating this second chicane here. And this is looking like a good lap for Lefkier. I think pole time, if he wants to solidify pole, I think he should be doing a 40.9. I'm not sure anyone's going to beat that. I think Monkey Man Matt definitely has a bit of time in his lap, but he's coming out on the used tires. He's just came out on the used tires, as Showcrime has just done a 42 flat, putting him up into P3, and Ace has retired as well. So, I mean, if I knew any better, I'd say Lefkier has pole in the bag. But Monkey Man Matt, anything's possible. And Lefkier in the Aston Martin is going to cross the line. Is he going to break into the 40s? He is, by a 40.9 by a slim margin. And now the gap to Monkey Man Matt is 6/10, making it all the more difficult for the Haas, who's come out on a low fuel run as Lefkier retires. He's confident that that's the best he can get. Now it's Monkey Man Matt's turn to try and dethrone the Hungarian Aston Martin, try to take a pole position, snatch a pole position off him. Maybe Artur Kostreva will be the one to do that. Maybe it could be NL Carr, of all people. He's up 2.5 tenths in the first sector. I don't think this is over. Showcrime not on another push lap, but that's a good lap that he has done there. And we'll go back on board with Monkey Man Matt in a moment as soon as we see NL Car's time. He also has a McLaren behind him, and King Miro has come out on the hard compound tire and has just done a 155. So this is a very interesting session, and NL Car actually looks like he's on for a pretty good time. A 117.6. He's up 0.5 of a second. That would put him ahead of Show Crime if he continues. And King Mural 18.4 on the hards. He's up about 11 seconds on his time. That would put him near the midfield, which would be a pretty impressive feat on the hards. Marco, I think he did an invalid time. Let's go back on board with Monkey Man Matt, who is up 0.3 in Sector 1. But that would not be enough to dethrone Left Gear. He needs to find a little more time, and he almost comes close to hitting the wall in the castle section. Very fine margins there, and NL Car loses out to Show Crime by 1,000th of a second, by the way, at 142.089. Means the Red Bull lives another day in P3, and I think unless Arthur Kostrewa dethrones him, I think he should be fine. As Monkey Man Matt, is he improving still? He has lost a bit of time in the middle sector and sliding out of that corner there. I think he's just going to be improving his time, but not his position as he comes through the easiest sector on the track. While very grueling for drivers in real life to navigate such high-speed corners in the game, it's a simple flick of the joystick or turn of the wheel. And Monkey Man Matt will cross the line on 141.415. And those were new tires, so the game was lying to me to start. And let's go back on board with the drivers that are still driving. I think it is only Arthur Kostrewa and Reshkon is on a lap there, as well. He's about to finish it. I don't think Lemon's on a lap. Marco is not on a lap either. So it is only Arthur Kostrewa. It is down to him. Can he do anything? Can he fathom anything? And he is up 0.6 of a second to 36.1, but I think that was about half a second off of Monkey Man Matt's time. So he's going to need to find a little bit more time if he wants to put a more competitive time on the board. At the moment, I think he would be on for P7. He needs to find a little bit more time to jump in front of the Red Bulls there, but navigating the castle section nicely, rubbing up against the wall in the entry to the chicane. This looks like a good lap from Arthur Kostrewa. We know how good he is. He is second in the championship right now. If he wants to potentially eat into that gap, he needs to put in a good performance here. Otherwise, Left Gear could just run away with it, and he's going very, very softly through that turn there, but still a decent sector to a 17.7. He's up 0.8 of a second, but this is nowhere close to the leaders. It's going to be, can he jump Dr. Robot? He's definitely got King Mural, but can he jump the Red Bull? It's going to be a drag race to the line for the Alfa Romeo, and it is going to be the difference between P7 and P6. Arthur Kostrewa crosses the line with a 142.5, not enough to beat Dr. Robot's time, and it'll only be P7 for the Alfa Romeo. And Left Gear will be your pole sitter once again in OFR, shows Division 4 here at Baku. The only driver to dip into the 40s with a 40.9. Monkey Man Matt behind him will be beside him on the start, finish straight to 41.4. Don't forget your brake magic, guys. 42 flat will be the second row, with Show Crime and NL Car setting an almost identical time. Ace and Dr. Robot, P5 and P6. Then Arthur Kostrewa, then King Mural, then Texelaris and Slockster, P8 and P10 for the McLarens. Reshkon in P11, Pickle in P12. Tommy then down in 13th, so not a great showing for Aston Martin, when remember NL Car will be scoring points for Mercedes, so P4 and I think P5 for Mercedes right now. And Tommy, Lemons, Shadow Ben, Marco, and then Mamisal and Timblish were unable to set a time. So there are your results for this week. A lot of interesting developments in qualifying. We've seen King Mural come out on the hards. I think he could have gotten onto maybe not the front row, but the second row, or at least the third row if he came out on softs. but we'll have to settle for P8, and I guess he's saving the softer compounds for the race. And we have Texelaris beside him, who also went out on the mediums after a subpar lap on the softs. So everyone else on the softs. And two early DNFs, Matt Missile and Tim Blaish, neither of whom were able to set a competitive time, so they will be making up the 9th row of the grid as we head to the capital of Azerbaijan, Baku, home to many famous incidents like the Max Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo incident, the Charles Leclerc I am stupid incident, and of course the famous Lewis Hamilton brake magic incident where he went off into turn 1 and rendered himself unable to finish the race, as one would say. And also, I've just been informed reserves only score individual points. They do not score team points. So it is only NL Car buying for Mercedes today. So this could actually mean that Aston Martin could improve their advantage over the rest of the field constructors wise, as long as they pretty much just both score points. They should outdo NL Car's efforts, unless NL Car like wins the race or something, and then like Left Kieran and Tommy get like dead last. That would actually be pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, just quick reminder: NL Car in the Ferrari, driving the Ferrari today, but will be scoring points for the Mercedes. All right, so we are up and running. Let's take a look at the tire strategies for this race. I think we could potentially see um, some two-stoppers here as well. I don't think we've seen many this race, this season, but it could be interesting. And the track that I thought would have the most tire variance actually has the most equilibrium, with 15 drivers starting on the mediums. And Ace, Texelaris, the only two starting on the softs. Then Slockster will be starting on the hards as well. But a quick rundown through the Baku city circuit, a 6.003 kilometer circuit with 20 turns. It first hosted the European Grand Prix in 2016, and then the Azerbaijan Grand Prix from 2017 to the present, only missing out that year through COVID. It is the fastest street circuit, I believe, on the F1 calendar, and of course, Valtteri Bottas did set the speed record here with 378 kilometers per hour in his Williams, and we all know the Williams is great on the straights, but ERS, DRS, and Slipstream saw him beat the record of 372 by Juan Pablo Montoya by a whole whopping 6 kilometers per hour. It is the second longest track on the calendar, not only by length but also by time. Only the Spa-Francorchamps circuit is longer than it, and located in the capital city of Azerbaijan. It has a nice mix of, as we know, slow speed, high speed, medium speed corners, and very narrow straights that the cars are finding more and more difficult to handle as the years go on, but still a staple of the Formula One calendar. Usually at the start of the season, now we saw it be swapped with the Japanese Grand Prix, moved on to later in the season. And of course, the current race winner is Sergio Perez, which is so refreshing to not say Max Verstappen, but he did win the 2023 edition of the Grand Prix after winning 2 Grand Prix in the first 4 of the season, and then failing to win any for the rest of the season. But yeah, so this track has had a bit of issues with things that we saw at other street circuits like Vegas with drain covers earlier in the years and loose nuts and loose bolts, but it has improved a lot since the first GP2 race, where 22 cars started and only 10 finished. So it has become a much more loved and renowned track in the F1 calendar, as already we're seeing a bunch of cars get reset to the grid after ostensibly colliding with each other. You get reset to your parking spot if you collide with someone. The tap can be incredibly minute, and you will get reset to the grid as left gear fails to park the car in, so he's going to be starting a little bit further behind where he maybe would have wanted. And then we have all 18 drivers ready, and we will see 5 red lights for the 6th time this season here in OFR Shows Division. It is lights out and away we go here. Left gear gets a good start. Will Monkey Man Matt be able to pull alongside? No, he doesn't. He's going to have to suffice for second, almost outbraking himself again. A bit of movement in the back there. We see the Ferrari trying to hold the position from the Alfa Romeo, who's under attack. He has the outside line. Look at this. Arthur Kashirwa trying to put around the outside of NL Carr. Has he got the position? It's going to be a drag race down to turn 3, and he's not using his ERS, which is allowing NL Carr to swoop back in and reclaim the position. Look at that. Up the inside of the turn, and he's had a bit of a mistake coming out of turn 3, but he's going to hold on to P4. And look at that. He's already 2 seconds behind Showcrime and Monkey Man Matt. Monkey Man Matt still, look at that, very close to left here, 4/10. But when will we see this gap start to grow lap by lap? Of course, lap 3, DRS is going to be enabled, but not until the second straight there, out of turn 2 to turn 3. 2 DRS zones at this track. Look at this safety car already. Safety car on lap 1, and that's Shadow Ben, who is into the wall. That is a full course caution. He's into the wall at turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think he's into the wall at turn 7, near the castle section there, and that's going to be a full safety car on lap 1. I don't think anyone is going to pit, but that is going to reverse left gear's advantage. He didn't have much. He had a couple tenths in it, but that's going to bunch everyone back up together, and NL Carr is going to make up that 2 seconds that he had to Showcrime as well. And it's going to be interesting. Let's see, is anyone going to pit? I don't think this is going to be warranting a pit stop from anyone. The first front 3, 4 have all stayed out. Maybe one of the soft runners is going to go brave and go into the pits, or someone at the back. But at the moment, no one pitting yet. Does someone like Pickle have wing damage? Maybe. That car looks intact, fully intact, so I don't think anyone will be pitting. Tim Blaish pits, though. Tim Blaish is going to be what looks like the only driver who has pitted. He's going to give up P15 track position, and he's going to come out in last, I believe, unless he can maybe beat Matt Missile. I mean, I think the Delta time has been lifted at this point. But no, he has wing damage, though, so I think a little bit of a longer stop from him there. He might still come ahead of the Alpine. No, he doesn't. He comes out right behind the Alpine, so he gives up 2 places on track for a fresh set of hearts. I don't think he's going to be able to... Oh, he almost hits the wall there. I don't think he's going to be able to make it the whole race, but he can definitely extend those hearts long and then come in for softs at the end of the race. He definitely definitely has softs after being unable to settle after them in qualifying. He's going to have all the softs in the world that he wants. And a chaotic start to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix here in OFR. But 17 cars still in the race. So, you know, we have to look at the positives. There are some negatives, but we have to look at the positives of what we are given. And yeah, that is the race so far. And I'll get back to you in a moment when the safety car is going to be returning in to the pits. Ostensibly next lap, I think it should be coming back in. Okay, I am back, and I think Matt Missile has decided to box as well. Or something happened to the Alpine because his tires are still the same age, but he has fallen behind Tim Blaish now. Maybe he had a bit of a spin, and he's catching back up to the pack. Don't think he has... Oh, no, no! He's crashed! He has crashed into the wall, and he has wing damage. He has bad wing damage by the looks of it. That's got to be a full red wing for the Alpine. And I'm not sure how that happened. I wasn't, I was having a drink. And that's bad news for Matt Missile. Safety car in this lap. After 2 whole laps of a safety car, he's going to have to box this lap to fix the wing damage. But things are already getting back underway. The green flags are out. Left gear ready to get us restarted. Monkey Man Matt right behind him. All the cars weaving to warm up their tires. And NL car thinks he's Kimi Räikkönen. No, he doesn't. He's not that cold. But yeah, weaving on the straights to warm up the tires. And we're getting close to the pit lane here. Could Matt miss out potentially try and make a move into the pits? And we are still not underway here. We're very close to the line. But left gear waiting, holding it until late to get us back underway. But we are. Any movement in the back there, there's NL Car and Showcrime fighting for the position going too wide into turn 1. And that's allowed the leaders to go in, and it's a McLaren. Oh, a McLaren in the background. That's Slockster that almost goes off into the wall. I thought we were about to catch that in 4K Ultra HD in real time. But Showcrime has gotten the move done on NL Car. Can NL Car respond? Is he going to try and send a late lunge up the inside of turn 3? No, he isn't. And in fact, he's just been overtaken by Arthur Estrella, who is up into P4, and that was really more of a defensive move there. I didn't even see the Alfa Romeo sneak up on him, And now his next target is Showcrime. So this is going to be an interesting fight for the final position on the podium between the two Red Bulls, NL Car in the Mercedes, and Artur Kostrela in the Alfa Romeo. I think those are the four suitors for the position. And Artur Kostrela already all over the back of that Red Bull, ready for any opportunity to try and get past him. We know how good he is in the race, and another podium would do him great justice here in the fight. And look at that, putting on the ERS within 2/10 of the Red Bull already. But I think he's gonna have to wait for that long main straight where he can then easily pass the Red Bull. But look at how close he's getting the corners. Is he gonna go for a move up the inside here? He just elects not to, and look at, they almost touch. How close are these two getting? And I think now is Artur Kostrela's chance to get past the Red Bull on the straight. Slipstream along with battery deployment. Look at this. He's getting very close. He's going to have to choose the outside line. Which one is the Red Bull going to have to cover off? It looks like the Red Bull is running lower wings than the Alfa Romeo, though, and is using a bit of battery. I think Artur Kostrela is going to have to get past sometime soon if he wants to take that podium position, because Showcrime is just a lot slower in the corners. And is he going to go for a move here? 4P3. Artur Kostrela up the inside. Are they going to touch? They get so close together. A little bit of wheel banging there, but a clean move up the inside of turn 2 for Artur Kostrela. But now, can he hold the position, or is Showcrime's lower wings going to help him down this straight? And Artur Kostrela goes deep into the corner, locks up, but he's going to hold the position. A brilliant battle going on here. And as this allowed NL Car to potentially eye up a move on the Red Bull himself, both the Red Bull used a lot of ERS there to defend on the straight from Artur Kostrela, and NL Car with a almost full battery here. Same thing with Dr. Robot. So we can see potentially a lot of movement going on here, a lot of shifting as Monkey Man Matt, Monkey Man Matt almost loses that Haas of his through the castle section. That costs him about a 10th or 2, but he's still relatively close to left here. Will we see the race lead be battled out between these two, or will they come together like the two Red Bulls we saw in 2018? Neither of them has used much battery. Left here about 70, Monkey Man Matt about 90%, but DRS should be available next lap. And what has happened here? Is that Dr. Robot? That is Dr. Robot into a wall in Sector 2, and that's going to be his podium chance pretty much out of the question. Let's see, does he have any wing damage? I don't think so. I think he's all right. If at all he has any wing damage, it's relatively minor. And look at how quick Artur Kostrela is. He's already pulled out a second to Showcrime, who is passed yet again by NL Car, and Monkey Man Matt takes the quickest lap of the race with and oh my days, it's another safety car. What has happened this time? It is Tommy PLR and Slockster who have come together. So now the Aston and the McLaren are out of the race. And is this going to allow Artur Kostrela to enter himself as a potential candidate for the race lead here? Because his pace has been quite fast. Obviously, we saw Monkey Man Matt pick up the fastest lap and not him, but he was pulling away rapidly from the two cars behind him that were fighting for what was originally P3, and then they ended up fighting for P4, because within a lap, Artur Kostrela pulled out a whole second to them. And now we'll definitely start to see a couple cars come in and box. At this point, you can make it all the way to the end on the hards, even around an abrasive track like this with many finely cut curbs and manholes that if you run over them will destruct the floor of your car. Just ask Carlos Sainz. No, but they don't have that in this game. You can definitely, if you box now on lap 6 here, especially under a safety car, a couple laps, 1 or 2 laps under a safety car, you should comfortably make it to the end on the hards. I'm not sure if a 2-stop is a viable option here, but maybe someone like Tim Blaish, who is on the hards, could elect to go soft from here, box on lap 17, or maybe medium. I'm not sure how good the softs are as a race tire around here. I haven't raced here in a hot minute, but let's see. Are the race leaders going to dive into the pits? Is left gear going for a feint? He is going for a feint, but Monkey Man Matt's smarter than that, and elects not to follow him closely, and everyone is staying out. So I think these guys are expecting potentially another safety. Oh, Texelaris is out of the race. And I think we're lucky to have gotten that on camera, just speeding into the pits. And his car is out of the race, hitting the pit wall on the entry on the inside, and then hitting the outside. And I still think pitting now for would have been a good strategy for anyone in the top four. You still would have come out at like P9. You're not losing that much track position, and you're coming out on better tires. But I think maybe these guys are thinking, all right, well, we're due for another safety car. If it continues at this rate, we can extend the mediums or the hards, whichever tire we're on. I think Tim Blaish could even make it to the end with another safety car on those hards, but we're gonna extend these tires a bit further. We've only done about three or four race laps on them. We can keep extending these, maybe even go medium soft for the end of the race. But yeah, the consensus was to stay out. So cars are going to continue to stay out. All of the top 10. And then we're going to see P11 to P14 behind them on newer tires, new hards. And is Matt Missile. Matt Missile is quite far back, so he's a bit of catching up to do himself on those hards, which are now 3 laps old. So these were from when he picked up the wing damage on the prior safety car, had to box to fix that wing damage, and he is still on that same set of tires. Anyway, let me read off some more interesting facts. Whoops, about the Baku Grand Prix. In the meanwhile, while we wait, the race lap record is a 143 flat by Charles Leclerc in his illegal car in 2019. He wins in Spa, he wins in Monza. Well, you know how I feel about that. Opened 7 years ago, the capacity is only 18,500, which is fairly low, even for a street circuit. When we see venues like Mexico with upwards of 100,000 in attendance, I think I want to say 200,000, but I don't want to exaggerate so much. And sorry, now it is the 4th longest on the calendar. So the longest is Spa. Then Jeddah is the 2nd longest, even though it has. So I think Jeddah is the fastest on the calendar because it is over 6 kilometers, and its lap times are in the 130s in race, and in qualifying you'll see in the 120s. Very similar to Bahrain, but a lot longer of a track. Then we have the Vegas circuit, which is also longer than this, and also has times in like the 135s, 136.7 in the race, and 132.3 in qualifying, as opposed to this track with 142, 141 in quali, and 145s in the race. So this is a bit of a slower track. We have more technical portions, which is what makes it good. And this was first proposed in 2013, where when then F1 CEO Bernie Ecclestone suggested that there should be a Grand Prix here. So as we know, the Korean Grand Prix, if you guys remember, was held up until 2014, I think. They were in breach of contract, allegedly. And so that they proposed that the Baku circuit be moved up its opening date be moved up to 2015, but it's still open in 2016 as the European Grand Prix, which actually brings up a question, I think, for me. When was the last European Grand Prix? Was Baku the last European Grand Prix? Yeah, it was the last. So, yeah, so okay. So European Grand Prix, obviously, we know as the most famous one being the Valencia Street Circuit, where Fernando Alonso won from P11 to P1 in a car that was, some people say, slower than the Caterham, however you pronounce it at the time. And Pickle is out of, what has happened? Pickle is out of the race, and it looks like he went off into the runoff area at turn 1, or maybe collided with the wall at turn 1. So another DNF that puts us up to 5 with only 9 laps, and 4 of those being race laps. So interesting race so far. The Nürburgring held the European Grand Prix 12 times, Valencia 5, Brands Hatch 2, Jerez 2, Donington Park 1, and Baku 1. It was first held in 1983 and last held in 2016. That is interesting. I always was curious about that, but now I shall no longer be curious. I don't know. This race has been fairly boring thus far. But yeah, let's hope it gets better. 17 more laps of this. And I don't think safety car will be in this lap because Matt Missal is still very far back, which would mean that we would go into our 3rd lap of safety car. But no, I think we've reached the limit. And the game allows for a single safety car. And we are coming in, baby. Green flags out across the track. And we are returning to racing speeds shortly. And my Missile should catch up to the back of the pack by the time we reach the start-finish line. Left gear once again ready to get us underway, but the top 5, top 6 have been shuffled around as Artur Kostrewa now finds himself in the driver's seat in P3, and now he thinks he's Kimi Räikkönen, not leaving to warm up his tires. And Alcar in P4 behind him. He was in P4 still and remains there. Showcrime down to P5, but still very much in it for the podium position race. And Lemons, who we've seen more often in the back of the grid than not, now up to P6, could potentially get his word in for the race lead. And we are back underway and racing once again. Yellow flags are out. Is that Matt Missal? That is Matt Missal locking up into turn 1 there, but nothing serious. Now Monkey Man Matt closer than he's ever been to left gear. Is this going to be for the lead of the race? Down this straight here into turn 2. Left gear goes defensive, but Monkey Man Matt is just not far alongside him to go for a move. But that has been the closest we've gotten to seeing a move for the race race lead all race long. And now yellow flags are out again. Matt Missal into the wall at turn 3. And it's a virtual safety car. People, please, not again. At least it's only a virtual safety car. But I think a bit of debris on track. We'll have to see his wings. I think there's a bit of deformation on the left side there, or the right side, whichever it was that he brushed up against the wall with. Guys, what is going on here? But yeah, virtual safety car, these things usually last about half a lap to a lap in 50% races. So we should be green flag racing by the time we get onto the straight. I think it wasn't anything too serious. So expect to be back up and running soon. And NL Car picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC, and it looks like left gear hasn't the best of getaways. Look at how quickly Monkey Man Matt is approaching him, but yellow flags. Archer Straight was out, and NL Car is out too. Is there going to be a full course caution? Safety car and left gear, and Monkey Man Matt now about to go side by side into turn 1. Left gear is just too far ahead, but he's still going to go defensive as Monkey Man Matt. Going to try and go for a move. The Aston Martin goes deep, but it's a full safety car now yet again. And this is going to hugely advantage the cars that are back here. Marco is going to be able to get a free pit stop in as well. He can go to the end on the mediums here. And 3 safety cars in 10 laps. And already 7 DNFs. This has been objectively the worst race in OFR Season 4 so far. Marco goes into the pits and elects for the softs. So maybe a 2-stop strategy. Maybe he thinks he can hold it out to the end on the soft. But Artur Gustrewa, who was vying for a podium, potentially even vying for the win, is now out of the race and has left the session. And if in anger, understandably so, as this will certainly hurt his championship chances. And same thing for Mercedes and NL Car, because now their lead point scorer was looking to potentially get in a P4, P3, maybe even on the board, P5, somewhere around that, is out of the session. I'm not sure how it happened. We'll have to take a look back into that a bit later. But now that actually promotes Lemons to the final podium position. So the Alpine, who was starting near the back of the grid, is now up here with the front runners. And oh my days, what a voice crack. So are we going to see these cars start to file in to the pits? At this point, I mean, you have to realize that at some point you have to box, right? And there's a safety car limit, which I think is 4 full safety cars. I'm still expecting another one, but at this point, I think if I'm in the race lead, I go in for the hards. But it very well could be the same argument made to stay out, and left gear is going to file into the pits. Monkey Man Matt backs off, and is Lemons going to overtake him, actually? No, he isn't. Okay, so Monkey Man Matt backs off quite a bit, and Tim Blake stays out. So Tim Blake is going to inherit the lead of the race here, which I think was a good decision for him to stay out on those hards, because Lemons picks up a 5-second time penalty. No, Lemons has picked up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the race. So, all right, enough yap. We saw Tim Blake come into pits earlier. He's only done about 3 or 4 race laps on these hards, which means they're maybe on 15%, 20% tops, right? Even though it says 10 laps, they're on 20% at the utmost, right? And just so many laps behind the safety car, right? They're not going to be that bad. And now you have someone like left gear coming out in P6 behind all these cars. Tim Blake has a huge chance at a podium, and Monkey Man Matt has just shot himself in the foot there with his strategy, because now he finds himself behind Matt Missile, and that usually does not end well. But the Haas comes out in P8, and the Alpine of Lemons in P9 with that 10-second time penalty, though. Show Crime down into 10th, and Marco, the last car out of the points and the softs, on P11. 11 cars remaining of this race, and we are not yet halfway through. So I'm not sure what to prepare myself for. Hopefully a bit of racing action, though, as with 14 laps remaining in this Grand Prix, the race win is still up in the air. And we are back underway here. Lap 13 of this race, and Tim Blaish, an unlikely face in the lead, as Lefkier already looking to make moves up into P5, trying to overtake the AlphaTauri of Reshkone, but he manages to stay ahead of the Aston Martin for now. He's going to be dying to get that move done, though, as Monkey Man Matt has also gone past Matt Missile, who's fallen back now from the grid, and Monkey Man Matt up into P7. Look at this. Left gear up the inside of turn 3, gets the move done, says thank you very much, and we'll take P5. Now it is Monkey Man Matt's turn, and he's gotten it done as well. What happened to Reshkone? Reshkone into the runoff area at P3, turn 3, so he's down now to 10th, as Ace and Dr. Robot are fighting it out for P2. Actually, this Ace into the race lead, and Tim Blaish touches the rear wing of the Mercedes, and the Mercedes in the lead of the race now. And look at this, he's pulling away from Tim Blaish. He does have the better tire compound, and Tim Blaish finding it hard to navigate the castle section there. And look at this, Dr. Robot now, who was down to the back of the grid after picking up wing damage earlier on in the race. Oh, how close he comes to the wall. Is now up into P2 and could be fighting for the race win. He had good pace in qualifying, but he has a bit of a gap to catch to Ace ahead now, but he has quite a long time to do it. He has 7 lap-hole tires compared to Ace's 5 lap-hole tires. And look at this, King Miro now up into P3, and Tim Blaish is falling back. He is fading. Now left gear has gone past him as well. So has Monkey Man Matt. He's fallen down the order from P1 to P6. And look at this, our left gear and Monkey Man Matt both gonna jump the McLaren of King Miro. Yes, they are. He's gonna still have to hold the turn, the move into turn 1. And look at this, they go side by side into turn 1. Monkey Man Matt giving him all the space in the world. They're still side by side through turn 2. A bit of wheel banging there, but Monkey Man Matt's gonna take the position now. And Matt Missile is out of the session. That's a yellow flag, and that is another safety car on lap 14. Matt Missile into the wall on the exit of the high-speed corner there. I believe 19 or 20. He's on the exit of into the wall, and this is a shambles now. 10 drivers remaining. Ace is seeing his 3-second lead vanish, but now the question is someone like Tim Blaish going to pit? I think someone like Tim Blaish will certainly pit, but is someone like Dr. Robot or Ace going to pit? I don't think so. But this makes it a lot easier for Left Gear and Monkey Man Matt to catch up. I'm not even sure if you can call this a race at this point. I mean, this is more of a demolition derby, if anything. We've certainly had more laps under safety car, under a caution, than we have racing. And ladies and gentlemen, it is not usually like this. We had a brilliant race at China the other day with some great overtaking prowess. But even at Jeddah, there weren't this many DNFs. And Jeddah is a very hard circuit to navigate. So now we're going to see the drivers. Oh, Reshkone and Lemons get a drive-through penalty for speeding under safe. And what has happened this time? Tim Blaish into the wall. He's crashed on the straight. Tim Blaish is out of the session. He's into the wall. And now 9 cars remain. Half of the grid has DNF. I think this calls for half points. If that is a rule that they have in this in OFR. I'm not sure if OFR does half points. We haven't had to try half points yet. But with 11 laps still to... At this rate, we're going to have 2 drivers finish the race. So look, we've done 14 laps, right? 9 DNFs. Or 15 laps, 9 DNFs, right? That's a DNF every 1 5/9 of a lap, right? We have 11 laps remaining. That means we're going to get 7 more DNFs, right? 7, 5. Yeah, we're going to get 7 more DNFs. So we're going to have 2 drivers finish this race. Oh, my days. So this is looking more like an open lobby at this point with only 9 drivers remaining. But the good thing is, I think this is the cap of how many safety cars you can get. I think we can get one more virtual and we're done. I don't think the safety car can come out again this race. But I might be wrong. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 4 full safety cars and 2 VSCs in the 50% race. And oh, I'm looking at this. I think Tim Blaish was unable to see anything on his screen. That's why he crashed. So yeah, what was looking like a good race for him within a lap turns into shambles, and safety car looks like it's going to be staying out another lap as the 2 AlphaTauri seem to be lagging back a bit further. I think this could be Reshkone's chance to pop off those hards and hop onto mediums, which is what I would do if I was him. I'd serve that, oh, well, it's a drive-through, not a 5 seconds, is it? Yeah, oh, Ace has come into the pits. Ace has come into the pits. So he's going to give up track position. He's going to come out in 8th. But he's going to put on the mediums for the last 10 laps of this race. And Marco is going to put on the old softs. Or no, he's going to come off the old softs. And he's going to put on new softs. So interesting decision. I would have personally put on the softs as well. And fixing his wing there a little bit. I think that was more of a downforce adjustment. It didn't take as long as a normal wing replacement would take. I don't think, at least. But yeah, Tim, you did. If you're watching the stream, Tim, you did all right on the safety car restart. I didn't even think the safety car was coming in that lap, so I was trying to help you out, and then I saw the safety car come in, and I was like, oh crap, and I was like, we're back underway. So yeah, in other news, I think safety car should be in this lap though. We should be back underway. Under 1.5 laps until we get another VSC or safety car. I'm gonna take the under. Let me know in the stream chat. Under 1.5 laps until the next VSC or safety car. And there it is. The green flags are out. And for the first time this race, Dr. Robot is in the lead, but he has Left Gear right behind him, ready to pounce. And with Ace coming into the pits, this has allowed Left Gear to now get an open shot at the Red Bull of Dr. Robot, who is really, I think, vying for podium rather than the win here. And he's gone quite early compared to what Left Gear does. He's gotten a good getaway. And Left Gear now has to defend for Monkey Man Matt as well. As an AlphaTauri comes into the pits, that's Reshkone. He's going to serve his drive-through penalty. And if Monkey Man Matt fights Left Gear, that could allow Dr. Robot to maybe pull a bit of a gap. I still think either of them would be able to catch up. But yeah. And look at that. King Miro already 2 seconds back. Same thing with Lemons, who has a drive-through 3 seconds back. So this could be a big race for Red Bull as well, because even with everything that's going on, Dr. Robot should still get P3, and up the inside goes Monkey Man Matt into turn 4, and he's made the move done. What a late lunge from the Haas, and to catch out Left Gear, I wasn't even expecting that, and I just saw the nose of the Haas up the inside of the Aston Martin, and now this is war. I think that is a declaration, that is a provocation between the two of them there. Monkey Man Matt says, I am not here to mess around. I am here to win this race. For the first time this season, he wants to be on the top step of the podium, and now he only needs to get past that Red Bull, and he will be in the lead of the race. Look at this, 5-lap hards versus 11-lap cards. Will Monkey Man Matt go for another outrageous dive bomb? No, he doesn't. He elects to stay behind the Red Bull for now. But he could get past on the straights. They both have high ERS, so they could potentially both get past as well. But look at this, King Mural's caught up quite nicely as well. And Monkey Man Matt looking to get past the Red Bull. ERS on. He's burning the battery, but so is Dr. Robot. Dr. Robot looking to hang on to that race lead. But for the first time this race, it is going to be the Haas of Monkey Man Matt who crosses the line first. But look at this. Left gear is going to try and go for a move around the outside into turn 1. Monkey Man Matt is going to hold the position though. Left gear is going to try the switchback, but Monkey Man Matt just has more traction out of turn 1. He's going to go defensive for turn 2, and he maintains the lead of the race. But if left gear has anything to do about it, not for long. Monkey Man Matt pulled out a bit of gap on the exit of turn 2 now, but left gear looking to shrink that gap down to as little as possible. Oh, and Monkey Man Matt locks up into turn 3. That's going to cost him a couple tenths of time there. DRS will be on next lap, I believe, and that will further accentuate the action. I believe that was the right word. If it wasn't, let me know, but I think it was. And King Mural has gotten past now Dr. Robot. We just missed the overtake, but he's up into P3, and he looks quite fast on those old hards, whereas Ace is struggling to catch up on those mediums. So was it the right decision for the Mercedes to come into the box and give up that track position? At the moment, turning out, the answer is turning out to be no. As the Red Bulls have been demoted to P4 and P5, Dr. Robot really struggling on those old hards. He could potentially be overtaken by his teammate next. As look at this, Marco and Lemons are fighting. A bit of wheel banging there, and now Ace gets past a lot of them as well. I think you could potentially argue that Lemons was pushing into Marco there. But they both managed to stay out of the wall, and he locks up onto the exit of that turn. Look at this, is left gear gonna try and get past Monkey Man Matt. He's not using ERS, so it's just the slipstream that is carrying along the Aston Martin. And look at the speeds that these cars are achieving. Left gear is gonna pull alongside the Haas. They touch, they come together, DRS is enabled, and left gear decides to stay behind, but he is going to get DRS now on this next short straight on the exit of turn 2. And I think Monkey Man Matt's going to be a sitting duck, but he's got a better exit out of turn 2. Rear wing open for the Aston Martin, but he's just too far back unless he's going to go for a really late lunge, which no, he decides better off. And he's going to stick behind the Haas for now. And as King Mural is starting to struggle now in the open air, Dr. Robot been following him quite closely, but he locks up into turn 4, and he's going to drop back quite a bit. Now Ace really has to put those new tires to work. In P6, he has a 3-second gap to catch to Show Crime, and then another second to Dr. Robot if he wants to get, I think the best he's going to get maybe P4 this race if he really turns on the afterburners. And left gear now. Now I think he's fairly confident that he'll be able to get past the Haas on the next DRS straight, who has pulled half a second of a gap, but that should be nullified on the straight with DRS, potentially battery as well. They're both at around 50%. Left gear has maybe 10-15% more than Monkey Man Matt, so he's going to have a bit of an advantage as Monkey Man Matt runs wide, which reminds me, we haven't seen any track limits penalties here, and left gear has to let off the gas there. Not enough space for 2 cars to go too wide through that turn, but he's going to use a bit of ERS, and he's going to come alongside the Haas, and he's going to reclaim the lead of the race. And look at how far ahead he's pulling. Look at how rapid that Aston Martin is. Of course, the slipstream is going to help out Monkey Man Matt a bit, but the Aston Martin did have the DRS as well for a large part of that straight, and the slipstream absolutely catapulted him into the lead. Now it's going to be about whether Monkey Man Matt can stay with him or not. 7 laps remain of this race. It's really between these two at the moment. Monkey Man Matt with the rear wing open, but just a bit too far back, narrowing the gap from half a second to 2 tenths, and that's a yellow flag. That is Lemons, who is out of the session. Lemons is out And so both Alpines are out. He's going to pull onto the runoff there. No need for a full safety car. We have yellow flags out, though, in Sector 1, but it's not even going to be a VSC. And that puts us down to 8 cars remaining. And now Ace, by the way. In the meanwhile, Ace has caught up to this gaggle of cars that are fighting for P3. And still, with the tire advantage, he's going to want to get past with his superior exits and cornering speed abilities. 14 and 11 lap old hearts compared to these new mediums. That should be a breeze for Ace, who we saw was 3rd fastest in qualifying today. Has yet to translate that over into race pace, but now is his opportunity. Meanwhile, let's go back on board with the Haas of Monkey Man Matt, struggling a bit through Sector 2, losing a bit of time to left here, but he's going to regain that all back on the straights. And could he even go for a pass on the Aston Martin? I think he's a bit too far back for that. I think that's a bit ambitious, but he's going to get the slipstream, the ERS, and the rear wing. And look at this, he's pulling away. The Aston Martin is pulling away from the Haas, and he was using quite a bit of ERS there, but on a straight where Monkey Man Matt should be catching at the Aston Martin, he loses 2/10, and then he locks up into turn 1, and he's out of DRS range now. So left gear with a higher top end speed has just been more consistent throughout these last couple laps, and has left Monkey Man Matt in the dust, and now he's fending on his own for P2 with 6 laps remaining. I think now this is going to be the battle that we're all going to watch. 4-car train here going at it, and I think at this point it's going to be, rather than send one up the inside, it's going to be get the car home in one piece with 10 DNFs. I think it's more worth it for the teams to settle for the position that they have rather than try and go for an outlandish move and ruin their chances at a points finish, especially with Red Bull, who are looking to take home about 45 points on the weekend. They shouldn't be fighting with each other. They should be fighting to really hold Ace up, which is what Showcrime is doing. But Ace, with a great exit out of that turn there, is going to have the slipstream through this portion of the track. Is he going to be able to go for a move on the Red Bull? He's gotten very close. He's within a 10th, but he elects to not go for a move. Now maybe into this turn. Here he comes. Look at this. Up the inside goes the Mercedes, but the Red Bull holds it around the outside. They're going to stick it too wide through the turn, and I think the Red Bull is just about going to be able to out-traction him there. Ace wasn't brave enough, but he's held up the Red Bull enough now that he shouldn't get DRS, and this should be an easy pass now for Ace in the Mercedes. Once he gets that rear wing open, it's going to be game over for Showcrime, and Ace makes the pass for P5. Look at this, before the corner even arrives, and we head into lap 22. Well, wait a minute, the Red Bull, oh, it goes into the wall. Showcrime not out of the session, but wing damage there. It looked like Ace pulled alongside a little bit, and Showcrime lost a bit of control over the car, and now he's got wing damage on the front left. Is he going to be able to hold off the 2 AlphaTauris with the wing damage, or is he going to come into the pits and box? That is the question now, as Ace has to catch back up to these 2, which he has done brilliantly. Of course, with the tire advantage, it shouldn't be that easy for him. And Showcrime outbraking himself into the runoff area now. He's going to lose the position. He's going to go down to P7, and he's going to have to try not to get disqualified. Oh my days, Showcrime, what are you doing, my brother? He's reversed fully onto the track into the way of Reshkone, and that is going to be a slam dunk penalty for Reshkone, who almost got his front end taken off by the Red Bull. 7 cars remaining now, and left here actually has lost a bit of time to Monkey Man Matt, who's picked up a couple tenths in the middle sector this lap. Gap down from 1.6 to 1.1, and Ace looking to try and get a maiden podium as well. So still, the race win is not over yet. They're both very low on ERS. I think left gear has just over 20%. Monkey Man Matt has maybe 5. And Monkey Man Matt missing out on DRS one more time, but he's in the DRS range of the Aston Martin now. He won't get the rear wing open this lap though, because the detection point is before the corner. Oh my gosh, I can't speak today. So the little green dot you see in the top right of the mini map is the detection point. The yellow dot is the speed trap that's mainly used for like qualifying or free practice. But the green dot is the detection point. If you're within 1 second of the car, once you pass the detection point, you will get the DRS. So Monkey Man Matt was 1.0 something at the detection point. But by the time he was on the straight, he had gotten it down to about 9 or 8 tenths. So that doesn't count. You have to be within a second at the detection point for anyone that is unfamiliar with how DRS operates in Formula 1 and this game as well. So now Ace of Pace, he still has to get past both of these guys here, and he could potentially make a move on King Mural down the main straight. He has roughly the same amount of ERS as both of them, and that tire advantage is going to be fading away. He needs to get along with it. He knows he does, and he has many opportunities to pass the cars. It's not full desperation mode yet, and Monkey Man Matt is going to get the DRS this lap. Well, is he? Yeah, he does. So left gear uses quite a bit of ERS to pull out from ahead of Monkey Man Matt, but Monkey Man Matt did get the DRS there. So he's making inroads, but he's lost DRS again. As you can see, detection point, 1.1 seconds, no good. Even though now he's going to be within 1 second, that's not enough. And King Mural makes a move on Dr. Robot, by the way. Let's go back on board with these guys. Is Dr. Robot going to try and get that position back? No, he isn't. That would have been an outrageous move from far back. As we head onto the DRS straight now, King Mural is going to be a sitting duck for the Red Bull of Dr. Robot, who's looking to get a first podium this season. But is he going to be fast enough down the straight? No, he isn't. He just elects to not go for the move. And at the moment, all of the fighting has been between these two, but Dr. Robot struggling on the entry of the corner there. That slows both Ace and himself down, as Ace falls back a couple tenths, but he's able to make that up in a couple corners. Really showing how much quicker the medium is at this point. And hold up, what has happened here? Has left gear picked up wing damage or something? Because Monkey Man Matt's now all over the back of him. It's very plausible that the Aston Martin maybe just hit the wall here. Maybe he just had a lockup or something, because Monkey Man Matt has caught up, and the gap is now 4 tenths, 5 tenths of a second compared to 1.1, 1.2. So it is not over by the slightest, by any means. It's not over by any means of the imagination, because Monkey Man Matt is going to have the DRS here. He's going to have the slipstream. Is he going to be able to overtake the Aston Martin? Rear wing open as they head down to turn 1, but just look how rapid that Aston Martin is on the straights, and he is not even using any overtake whatsoever. Now here comes Ace. Dr. Robot not getting, no, he is going to get the rear wing open, but Ace is going to pull alongside. Is he going to get 2 and 1? Is this going to be a move for P3? No, it isn't. But Dr. Robot is going to try and go for the move into turn 1. Is he going to get it off? He's got a little bit wide. And now that's going to allow both of the cars to maybe get a run on him. Here comes King Mural now around the outside into turn 2. Dr. Robot's going to hold the position as he locks up. And I think they touch. Ace and King Mural touch, trying to go too wide through turn 3. And it has not worked the treat for them at all. And Dr. Robot holds on to turn 3, but that is going to be a controversial one at that. With 1.5 laps remaining, both of these guys know that they need to get a move done as soon as possible. Dr. Robot and King Mural, maybe he can hold it out. He can stay in second in the DRS train. You want to be in second ideally in the DRS train, right? But Ace needs to get a move on with it. And with King Mural falling back a bit from Dr. Robot, now this one might be his chance to try and get past the McLaren. Very, very tight corners here, so it's hard to go too wide through any of these corners. Hard to send a lunge. But Ace is going to have to try again until he can finally get one of these moves going. And look at that, and once again, so close to the McLaren, so close, yet so far cannot go for a move into that turn. Let's go back on board with the Haas though. Is he going to be able to get it this time? I think he isn't. Left gear is burning quite a bit of ERS to try and stay ahead, and it's working for him, but the gap shrinking down now to 6/10. Monkey Man Matt going a bit deep into turn 1, but staying with the Aston Martin. I think it's going to be decided on this last straight here as we head into the last lap. Ace, King Mural, and Dr. Robot still battling it out for P3, and no changes this lap. Dr. Robot holds the position for now. King Mural in P4 and Ace in P5. Ace, the desperation is starting to set in here if you're Ace. You want that podium so badly. You've had the better tires, and you still have the better tires, but it's just not working out for you. You need to push now, and King Mural unable to get past Dr. Robot on that DRS straight, but he will have one more opportunity to try and get P3 for himself and for McLaren. Will it be Dr. Robot? Will it be King Mural? Or will it be Ace? Look how close he's getting a bit of a slide out of that corner there. And let's go back on board with the race leaders in just one moment as Ace almost goes for a move into turn 7. That would have been a spectacular move, but just so narrowed there. And look at how close this margin is. Both of them with relatively low ERS, but it's going to be dumped to the line for Monkey Man Matt, who has a bit of a slide out of the final corner, but he's going to keep the car going straight. The gap is 4/10. It's the closest it's been all race. He's going to get DRS. He's going to get ERS. Will it be left here? Will it be Monkey Man Matt, who is going to cross the line first? The rear wing is going to be open for the Haas. The gap now down to 2/10. Is he going to be able to get the Aston Martin before the line? Is he going to get it? He does not get it. They cross the line in tandem, and 1/100th of a second separates the two of them. Now the battle for P3. Is Ace going to end up getting P4? I think he's going to wind up taking the position from King Miro, but he's struggling on the straights. Is King Miro going to be able to hold on just a bit more ERS? I think he has another photo finish there, but King Miro edges out Ace by half a tenth, and Dr. Robot holds on to that final podium position after doing 21 laps on the hard tire. He takes P3. What a stint from the Red Bull. King Miro will take P4, Ace P5, Marco P6, and Reshkon is going to cross the line to take P7. And after an incredibly dull race, what a finish. I think if Monkey Man Matt didn't have that slide on the exit of that corner, he would have very well won that race. But Left Gear hangs on by a thread and will extend his lead in the championship, picking up 36 points or 37 points this weekend. Reshkon will cross the line, the last car to do so. And that was an incredible turnaround there for the end of the race. What a change in pace. And Tim Blaish picks up driver of the day, and this is why this game is horrific. Giving driver of the day to the driver who is DNF'd is, you are out of your mind. Dr. Robot, you are my driver of the day today. An incredible stint on those hards, an incredible drive to hold on to P3. Congratulations on your first podium this season, and congratulations to Aston Martin Left Gear for winning another race here, his third race win this season, or his fourth race win this season out of 6. An incredible feat. And Monkey Man Matt so close, yet so far at the end. Thank you all so much for watching. Let's go through the final order. Left Gear wins the Baku Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Monkey Man Matt comes second, Dr. Robot third, King Miro, then Ace, then Marco, then Reshkon, which caps out all of the finishers. And then Lemons, Tim Blaish, Matt Missal, NL Car, Arctic Michelle, Piccolo, Texelaris, Tommy PLR, Slockster, Shadow Crime, Shadow Ben, and Show Crime all out of the race. And that is a chaotic race if I have ever seen one. Thank you all so much for watching, and make sure to come back next week, same time, same place, but we will be back in mainland Europe, back in the home of the Ferrari, at the Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari at Imola on the 4th of May. Be there or be square. Thank you so much.